All right, the Tata Sierra is back, and wow, the hype is absolutely real. I mean, we're talking about a modern revival of a true 90s icon, and the wait is finally over. But now that the first models are actually hitting the road, there's a huge question hanging in the air. Is this thing a brilliant return to form, or is it basically a beta test on wheels?
You can just feel the excitement in those words, right? This isn't just another new car launch. For a lot of people, this is a piece of nostalgia, a promise of something bold and different from Tata. The excitement was just off the charts. But the real question is, does the final car actually live up to all that hype?
Okay, so let's get right into the heart of it. The new Sierra is really a car of two halves. On one side, you have this absolutely stunning design, a cabin packed with cutting-edge tech, and some really impressive performance numbers. But on the other side, well, you have all the little teething problems that come with being an early production model. Let's break it all down.
So to really understand that conflict, let's start with all the good stuff. I mean, what made the Sierra one of the most anticipated cars of the year in the first place? Let's take a look at the promise on paper. First off, the look. You've got to admit, the designers just absolutely nailed it. It's got that proper, upright, almost butch SUV stance, but with a really modern, sleek twist. You can totally see the nod to the original Sierra in that flared B-pillar and the wraparound glass at the back. But then it's updated with these cool flush door handles, full-width LED light bars, and look at those wheels. Massive 19-inch wheels, the largest in its segment. And that wow factor, it totally continues when you open the door. I mean, reviewers were just blown away by the interior, calling it a huge, huge leap forward for Tata. The quality, the materials, the overall design, it all just feels incredibly premium. And the tech is just as impressive. We're talking a wild 3-screen dashboard layout, a massive 12.3-inch main touchscreen, and get this, a 12-speaker JBL sound system with Dolby Atmos. On top of that, you've got the largest panoramic sunroof in its class, ventilated seats. This is a features list that honestly could put some much more expensive cars to shame.
Okay, so it's a looker and it's packed to the gills with tech. But the real test, the one we all care about, is on the road. How does it actually drive? Let's find out. So the big story under the hood is Tata's brand new 1.5-liter direct injection turbo petrol engine. At 160 horsepower, it's packing some serious punch. On paper, it's right at the top of its class. And that power isn't just a number on a spec sheet. The Sierra can do 0 to 100 in just over 10 seconds. Now, for a big family SUV, that is seriously quick. You can really feel that strong, smooth acceleration when you put your foot down. But it's not all about just flooring it in a straight line, right? The whole experience is what matters. And that new 6-speed automatic gearbox? Reviewers said it was an absolute dream, just smooth and seamless in both the petrol and the diesel. And when you get to some curvy roads, the handling is apparently superb, with tons of grip and very little body roll. So the core driving experience, it's excellent. Okay, so the car drives well, it looks amazing. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? It's not all perfect. For all its brilliance, the first cars that reviewers drove had a few, let's call them niggles. The kind of small but really significant problems that just remind you this is a brand new car coming from a brand new factory. First up, let's talk about those stunning 19-inch wheels again. They look absolutely fantastic, but they come with a price, and that price is a really firm ride. Reviewers noted that you can feel pretty much every bump and texture in the road. One of them called it tarmac granularity, which can get a little tiring on anything less than a perfect road. And it seems that's not the only design choice that's a bit of style over substance. That really cool-looking flared B-pillar, well, it can create a bit of a blind spot when you're at an intersection. And the powered tailgate? It's a great feature to have, but it doesn't open high enough. Anyone over 5'8" is probably going to bonk their head on it. But honestly, the biggest red flags, the things that really make you pause, are the fit and finish issues. We're talking panel gaps so inconsistent you could fit a keychain in one side but not the other, scratches on interior plastics, and even reports of panels just falling off in the footwell. Add to that a constant drone from the diesel engine and a fancy new gear lever that's slow to react, and it all just adds up to a car that feels a little, well, unfinished. You know, this quote from Motor Inc. really just sums it all up perfectly. The fundamentals of the Sierra are brilliant. The platform, the engines, the space, the design, all fantastic. It's that last 15%. You know, the fine-tuning, the little details, the quality control. That's what's holding it back right now from being truly great.
So what's the solution? Well, the advice from the experts is pretty clear and, honestly, pretty simple. Wait. They recommend giving Tata about 6 to 8 months to work out all these little kinks at their new factory. Basically, let them fix the problems before you go and spend your hard-earned money.
Which brings us to the big question, the final verdict. With all this information, what should you, a potential buyer, actually do? It all boils down to what the reviewers have called the early adopter's dilemma. And that smartphone analogy is just perfect, isn't it? If you buy the Sierra right now, you're getting that shiny new phone on day one. It looks incredible, the specs are amazing, but you're also the one who's going to have to deal with the bugs and the glitches. You're basically a beta tester. But, and this is a really important but, here's the thing. Even with all those little issues, the value proposition here is kind of hard to ignore. When you compare it to its biggest rival, the Hyundai Creta, the Sierra is more spacious, it's better equipped with bigger screens and more features, and it's got a more powerful engine. And it's only a little bit more expensive. The value is undeniable. So, at the end of the day, it really does all come down to you and what kind of buyer you are. Are you a V1.0 pioneer? Someone who wants to be one of the very first to own this new icon, knowing you'll have to live with a few flaws? Or are you a V2.0 perfectionist, willing to wait just a little bit longer for the polished, finished product? The choice is yours.